Apparently, a wolf will chew off its own paw to escape a wolf trap. Do what you want with that information. Welcome to Movies with James. Today we're talking about John Wick Chapter 2. I was very excited for this movie. I was a big fan of John Wick 1. See, the John Wick movies are all about the concept of killing people you don't agree with. And as an American, I'm a huge fan of this concept. I will be honest though, I was a little worried about John Wick 2. The first movie only cost $20 million to make and was so successful, it made a buttload of money. I'm wondering if production company was like, well we only spent $20 million on the first movie, what if we spend $40 million on the next movie and make a double buttload? I like this idea. I like this idea. This is a great idea. Money, money, money. I was worried they're gonna, milk John Wick like Star Wars or Indiana Jones. Just milk it until it's dry and useless. But they made Chapter 2 anyway. At least they called it Chapter 2 and not, number 2. But I was a little concerned, like I want to see a movie, not read a fucking book. Why are you calling it Chapter 2? But it made sense because the second movie is just a continuation of the first movie, like directly after the movie ended. Like it's end of the first movie, continuation of the second movie. There's no in between stuff, which I did enjoy. Let's get into it. So John Wick 2 currently has a 90% on Rotten Tomato, which is mind-blowing. I didn't know action movies ever get this high of scores, considering they're kind of known for having no actual story, creativity, or real brains behind them. But 90%, hey, I'm excited. I like the movie. Everyone else seems to like the movie. Let's party. As you know, it stars Keanu Reeves, aka the man that cannot age, John Leguizamo, who is the supporting actor in every movie that involves a supporting actor, all the other characters from John Wick 1 that didn't die, and, get it, Lawrence Fishburne. Yep, Neo and Morpheus are back. It's a little bit of a different dynamic than The Matrix though. Instead of Neo being the amateur newbie and Morpheus being the genius know-it-all, Neo, John Wick, is the genius assassin and Morpheus is a homeless man. So, it's a little bit of switching of powers, but hey, I like that they reunited. As I said, it's a continuation of the first movie, but it kind of wraps up the end events of the first movie and then kind of directly moves into the second. After the first movie ends, John Wick is beaten up, bruised, bloody from all the battling he did. He gets kind of done. He's like, okay, I finished my mission. Oh no, I gotta do all over again for another fucking movie, directly after I did this one. It's a lot like Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. It's that style of 1 and 2 movies. So yeah, it's not really a sequel, more of a continuation, which I really enjoyed. Sequels are shit. Although I like John Wick Chapter 2, I'll be honest, the first one is better. That's a compliment, I liked it, I like John Wick 2, but I like the first one better. It's kind of like saying to your girlfriend, I love you a lot, but I loved my old girlfriend better. So, it's a mixed feelings going on. But let's get into detail what I liked and didn't like. So the goods of the movie. They kept the classic style of John Wick. No overthinking, no stupid, love interest, which is great. I love there's no love interest. Yes, there's mentions of John being in love at one point, but she's fucking dead. We don't need her in the story, okay? No love interest. He's just pissed, and he's full of rage. He's not trying to win the girl or save the princess. He's trying to fucking kill. That's what he's trying to do, okay? And let's be clear, I'm not saying this is an amazing film. John Wick is not a film. It's a movie. They're different things, and people go, that was a terrible movie. There was no archetypes. There's no metaphor. What is this bullshit? It's a movie, not a film. There Will Be Blood is a film. Shark Boy and Lava Girl is a movie. A shitty movie, but it's a different situation, you fucking idiots. So as I said, they're keeping with the classic John Wick theme, kind of ominous. He doesn't say a lot of words. The coolest part of these movies is kind of getting in to know the assassin guild, or whatever you want to call it. John Wick's a part of some kind of assassin guild, and the first movie kind of, gave you a little taste that he's in some kind of club with gold coins and, fancy bars for only, serial killers. But this movie kind of showed you the whole connection of all the stuff. But hey, it was a little much. It kind of ruins the mystery, because, the first one you're like going, give me more, give me more. The second one's like, okay, I got it. I got what's going on. But hey, I liked that they, gave you answers. They didn't just, pull a fucking Lost and not answer anything. One of the best classic John Wick scenes is when he's in the, he's in some place and he goes to some guy and he's getting all his weapons on the table, and the guy's showing him all the weapons going, ooh, do you want one of these? Do you want one of these? Do you want one of these? It's kind of like the scene from Kingsman when Colin Firth's giving him all the cool weapons and the explosive lighters and then the shoe with a needle in it. And of course, in classic John Wick style, they had a battle slash gun scene slash kind of move through a crowd while you kill people. But instead of having it at like a nightclub, they had it at like some EDM concert. And what better place than an EDM concert than to have a gun shootout? I mean, if you accidentally hit an innocent bystander, at least you're killing an EDM person, not like an actual useful human being. But that's it for the goods. They kept with the classic John Wick style. They gave a little more taste to the, mystery of the first one, but first one was still better. And I'll explain why in a second. Alright, so the bads. In the first John Wick, the protagonists were Russian. Russian people are naturally creepy as hell. Only below German, but it switches off. German, Russian, it's kind of interchangeable how creepy they can be. But who are the least creepy people you can imagine? So it's the Italians this time who are the bad guys. Automatically kind of lost its badassness killing a bunch of Italians. It's like, oh no, my pasta, you spilling my pizza, da 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 da. Not as scary as when like a Russian guy says, niet, niet, niet. Horrifying, horrifying. If I heard a Russian mother going, niet little baby, niet, I would fucking panic. But Italian lady, it's like, it's not even scary. It's like, you want some pasta? I spilled my prego. Where are the olive oil? No. They're not scary people. So automatically dinged the intensity points. At the beginning of John Wick 2, he confronts one of the old Russians from the first movie, who is played by Peter Stormare, who's like one of my favorite actors, super badass, plays creepy guys. He played the devil from Constantine. Great actor, super cool, but he's only in it for like 5 minutes. So that bothered me. He should have been the actual antagonist, but they didn't have him for some reason. They got some Italians instead. And the motivation wasn't there because the Italian guy really didn't wrong John Wick in the same way the Theon Greyjoy Russian kid wronged John Wick. In the first one, you're kind of rooting for John Wick, even though he's kind of being irrational because he has motivation and reason to want to kill the little shit. But in this one, the Italian kid, he wasn't that bad of a guy. Like, yeah, he's a total dickhead, but I just didn't feel the emotion of why John Wick is so pissed. I get why he's pissed, don't get me wrong, I get why he's pissed, just it wasn't, the motivation was not as there as it was. In John Wick 1, it was out of rage. In John Wick 2, he's just kind of being a little petty. That's all I'm saying. In the beginning scene, there's a scene where John Wick's fighting some guys with cars and fists, and there's a bunch of guys coming at him. They're in some kind of, bad guy lair. But for some reason, none of the bad guys have a gun nor a knife. And in every other scene, they're like fully strapped with like 9 guns each. But one time he goes in with no gun, no one seems to have a gun either. Like, I have no problem with him going into a place, knocking the guns out of everyone's hand, completely unrealistically, and then beating him up. But and let's just not act like the bunch of criminals just didn't bring their guns to their job being hold guns and stand somewhere. Like, that's their job. What do you do for a living? I hold guns and stand places in case someone comes to beat me up. Oh, did you bring it today? Oh, I forgot. Oh, you too? Oh, everyone in the room forgot to bring your gun to work, even though bringing your gun to work is your one fucking job? Oh, bummer. Hope no one comes, especially the guy that everyone calls the boogeyman. And then the last thing, one of the best parts of John Wick 1 was this overhead drone shot of Manhattan, and they're playing Marilyn Manson, killing strangers. It's badass as hell, dude. Like, I'm like, oh god, we are killing strangers because we're assassins and that's what we do. This song is about assassins and we're gonna kill some strangers and we're doing it in New York. It establishes the whole fucking movie in one shot. But no cool killing strangers song. They could have done something at least. But that's it for the bads. It was still a good movie. I just had a few gripes compared to the first one. Alright, time to rate this movie. I do it in 5 categories: story, acting, production, creativity, and watchability. Let's do it. Alright, story. Again, John Wick movies are not about the story. However, this story actually, I'll be honest, was almost better than the first one. Almost being it's not as good, but still almost as good. See, the first one had a very basic story to follow. He's mad. This guy made him mad, kill this guy. Simple story, easily done, very effective. This one was a lot more complex, a little more thinking involved. I had to think about this one a little bit. There's a lot of things going on. Also, they ask a lot of questions and they don't answer them as much. So they're clearly making a continuation for John Wick 3 because they kind of have to now because they ended on a cliffhanger. But the story was solid. It's a great story, just not as good as the first one. So that's why I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Acting, well, I mean, you're kind of just like acting mad. Just because there's not a lot of acting needed and no one really gave a lot of acting, that's a 4.5 out of 5. Production, wow. They definitely used this $40 million to good use. Amazing scenes. One of my favorites is when John Wick is holding a gun to a guy, a shotgun, pushing him down. Oh no, we're out of ammo. He keeps pushing him down with the gun and then is reloading the gun while he's pushing the man down, then kills him. Very cool choreography. They probably spent all their money on choreography. Production, just because they did exactly what we wanted and not overkill, not underkill, 5 out of 5. Creativity. I love how creative this movie is. It's almost like Assassin's Creed in the modern age kind of thing. The way they have coins and underground like League of Assassins kind of, and you don't really know what's going on, but you kind of know what's going on, which is why you have to guess, but they give such good, hints. Your guess is probably right, which I love. They don't give you the exact answer, they make you hint at it. Very cleverly done, and also it's so smart because that way there's no plot holes. If they don't give you the answer, you can't go, that's bullshit. You go, is that the answer? Well, it might be bullshit, and if you call bullshit on it, guess what? That wasn't the answer. You just guessed it. We're hinting. Very smart, creative, I loved it. But, I mean, I've seen more creative stuff, let's be honest. I mean, the movie Holes, how creative is that? Oh, a bunch of kids, they go to some lake and dig holes because there's a treasure. Oh no, the treasure belongs to the kid, Stanley, but his last name's Yelnats, spelled, and they go up a hill called God's Thumb, was cursed with, and so was climb this hill, and they find onions that sprays your foot and makes it smell good, and it's sponsored by a baseball player. Zero stole that he threw over the thing. How creative is Holes? Holes is the best movie ever. I'm saying this out of the blue. Holes deserves 100% on Rotten Tomato. Final answer. Anyway, but compared to Holes, it's not 100% creative, so I'm gonna give it a 4.75 on creativity. Watchability. Not as watchable as John Wick 1, mainly because I kind of knew where they're going with the movie, I knew what to expect. John Wick 1, I kind of was confused. I didn't know where they're gonna go, if it's gonna be stupid or sad. So I'm gonna give watchability a 3.75. 4 plus 4.5 plus 5 plus 4.75 plus 3.75.
It's 22.
22 times 4.
The answer is 88.
88, official score of John Wick 2. I mean, John Wick Chapter 2 is at 88. Wow, I was only 2 points off from Rotten Tomato, but I'm pretty sure once, the critics come in and people watch it more often, it's the first 3 days it's out, so it probably is gonna be higher than you think, but I assure you, eventually John Wick 2 will drop down to like a 80 something on Rotten Tomato. But yeah, official score of John Wick 2 is at 88. Alright, some final thoughts on this movie. It's a great movie to see on Valentine's Day. You know what, actually, this video is not going to go up till after Valentine's Day. But hey, you know what? Maybe if your Valentine's Day doesn't go very well and your significant other breaks up with you on Valentine's Day and you hate him and want him to die, you can go see John Wick 2 and imagine that John Wick's killing your ex. That'll be a good stress reliever. It's a great movie to go see if you're just kind of feeling like going seeing a badass Keanu Reeves movie. If you like shooting people. If you hate Italians, not a fan of Italians. Great movie. A lot of Italian death in this movie. It's Si Signor. That's Spanish. Mamma mia, dead Italians. Anyway, thank you for watching this episode of Movies with James. It has been a pleasure. Well, not as much as a pleasure seeing John Wick 1. Join me next time when I review John Wick 3, which I'm sure is going to come out in the next couple years. Have a nice life.